Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're really jumping headfirst into how AI is shaking things up.
Yeah, both in how we learn things and, how we actually manage to get stuff done day to day.
Exactly. We've got a great mix of sources. You sent in some really insightful research looking at the bigger picture, AI in education, that kind of thing.
And then also a really practical look at a specific AI tool, one that's built to, well, help you be more productive right now.
So our mission really is to unpack all of this for you. We'll slice through the info, pull out the key bits.
So you walk away with a much clearer picture of what's happening. It's kind of your shortcut to getting up to speed on this.
Okay, let's dig in. First off, something I was genuinely excited to see in the sources research from Kevin Brake.
Oh, yeah, Kevin's work.
We've worked with him for ages, and his stuff always, well, it always makes you stop and think, especially his focus on this overlap, AI and teaching.
What really stood out for me in the material from Kevin's research is how it pushes beyond just, like, how can we use AI tools in the classroom?
Yeah.
It gets more fundamental. It asks how AI might actually change the whole experience of learning. It hits right at the core.
Exactly. And one of the things that really jumps out from his research, at least as it's presented in these sources, is this very direct question he asks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a human teacher or an AI teacher?
And that's not just like a throwaway question, is it? The sources suggest Brake is really getting at the different strengths they might bring.
Okay.
So an AI, and we'll see this with the tool we're about to talk about, it could be amazing for that precise step-by-step guidance, like click here, type this.
Uh-huh.
But the sources hint that a human teacher, well, they offer something else, maybe inspiration, broader context, sparking discussion, or connecting in a way that AI, well, current AI finds harder.
Right, right. It makes you think about different kinds of learning, too. Like, are we just mastering a very specific software skill, or are we trying to develop a deeper understanding of something?
That distinction feels really important.
Yeah, and I think that's why Kevin's work here feels so valuable. He's making us think critically about the why and the what of learning now with AI in the mix, not just the how to use the new tool.
A really positive contribution to the discussion.
Definitely. So, okay, that sets the scene a bit, the big picture, the research perspective on AI and teaching,
So now let's pivot, right, from that big sort of philosophical question about teaching.
to something really concrete, an actual example of how AI is showing up right now to help you learn things and get tasks done.
Yeah, this is where, the rubber meets the road. Looking at a practical tool that uses AI to boost your productivity, your skills, right there on your screen.
And the specific tool highlighted in the source material is Google AI Studio, described as free, available at aistudio.google.com.
And the core idea is, well, it's quite brilliant, really. Simple but clever. It watches what you're doing on your screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it guides you step by step through tasks in different software.
It's like having that, super techie friend sitting next to you.
Exactly. Or a tech genius, showing you exactly where to click, what to type, no matter the app.
That tech genius friend analogy is perfect. And the source specifically mentioned its Stream Real-Time feature. That seems key.
Meaning the guidance is happening right as you're doing it,
Yeah,
not watching a video and trying to follow along later.
right. So the sources detailed this experiment they ran, putting Google AI Studio through its paces with 3 different automation tasks. They used a platform called Make.
Ah, Make. Yeah, for connecting apps visually.
If you're not familiar with Make, it's basically a way to link different apps together and automate workflows without needing to write code.
So they wanted to see, could this AI guidance actually make building these kinds of automations easier?
Okay, let's walk through the experiment, task by task. First up, drafting email responses using AI. So setting up an automation for that.
Okay.
The source described how AI Studio guided the user, connecting their Gmail, using the Watch Emails trigger,
Mm-hmm.
and then hooking it up to ChatGPT. I think it was the GPT 3.5 turbo model mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what was interesting, according to the source, was how precisely the AI showed the user how to map the incoming email content into the prompt for ChatGPT.
Yeah, like take the body of the email, put it here in the prompt.
Exactly. So the AI could generate a relevant draft response.
And the conclusion from the source on this one? For this specific task, which can be a bit fiddly, AI Studio's real-time personalized steps were actually faster and more accurate than trying to follow, say, a generic YouTube video on the topic.
Cuts right to the chase for your specific setup.
Precisely. Okay, second task. Automatically adding email contacts into Google Contacts.
Another common one.
Yeah, again, starting with watching emails in Gmail,
Yeah.
the AI guided the user on pulling out the sender's name and email.
And then sending that info over to Google Contacts to create a new entry. Pretty straightforward so far.
But here's where it got really interesting, according to the source. The user apparently paused, wondering about duplicates. What if that person's already in my contacts?
Ah, yeah, common problem with automations like this.
And AI Studio, based on the description, didn't just stick to the original plan. It actually suggested adding a filter step before creating the contact.
Oh, smart. So it checks first.
Yeah, checks if the email address already exists in Google Contacts. If it does, it stops. If not, then it creates the contact.
Wow, okay. So it adapted in real time to a potential issue. That's more than just following a script.
Absolutely. The source really highlighted how it made the whole process smoother and avoided that pitfall, all guided by the AI.
That dynamic adjustment seems like a huge leg up over a pre-recorded video.
Totally agree. And the third task they tested was setting up Slack notifications whenever something changed in Trello.
Okay, bit more niche maybe.
Perhaps, yeah. Connecting Trello's watch cards trigger to Slack's send a message action. The AI guided the user through mapping the right details from the Trello card into the Slack message, and even showed them how to pick the correct Slack channel from their own list.
Which can sometimes be tricky if you have a lot of channels or complex card details.
Exactly. And the source reported that AI Studio made this kind of task, which might otherwise mean digging through a long, specific tutorial video, really quite simple and fast. It just gave the exact steps needed right then and there.
Tailored guidance again.
So looking at all these examples, the sources then kind of step back and ask the big question, is this it? Is this the end of tutorials as we know them?
Right. Are YouTube creators out of a job?
Well, the conclusion from the material seems pretty clear. It's not really a replacement.
Okay.
Google AI Studio and tools like it seem fantastic for that quick, precise, step-by-step help when you know what you want to do on a specific app and just need the how.
Right. It's that super smart assistant showing you exactly where to click for a task you've already defined.
And this is but the sources emphasize that human creators, the people making those videos, writing those guides, they still play a really vital complementary role.
Okay, how so?
Well, they excel at sparking new ideas, right? Sharing creative workflows you might not have thought of, providing inspiration, showing you what's possible in the first place.
Ah, so it's less about the how-to click by click and more about the bigger picture, the strategy, the creativity.
Exactly. And offering broader context, building community around shared interests or problems. AI is great at executing a known procedure. Humans are still leading on figuring out new procedures or deciding which procedure is best.
That makes a lot of sense. So the source doesn't see it as AI versus humans, but more like a team up.
Precisely. A new era where AI tools handle the efficient execution of known steps, freeing up humans, both learners and creators, to focus on the bigger ideas, the creativity, the inspiration, the deeper understanding.
So let's bring this back to you, the listener. How does this all fit together in your world?
Well, on one hand, you've got tools like Google AI Studio that can have an immediate impact. They can help you learn that new software feature you've been putting off, or automate that tedious task right now. It's direct, practical help for the doing.
Efficiency boost.
But then you have the broader questions, like the ones Kevin Brake's research raises about human versus AI teachers. Thinking about those helps you understand the bigger shifts happening in learning itself.
It's not just about how to use a tool, but about how you actually acquire skills and knowledge in this, well, AI-augmented world we're entering, where you have both AI assistance and human insight readily available.
Yeah, it's about understanding how you can use technology smartly for efficiency,
while still making sure you engage with the deeper, creative, human side of learning and problem solving.
Knowing this landscape helps you navigate it better, right? To use these tools effectively for whatever your goals are.
So to wrap things up then, this deep dive really shows, I think, that AI tools are becoming incredibly powerful assistants. Great for direct, practical help and learning specific tasks, boosting productivity.
Definitely. But as that research we touched on hints, they're working alongside, not replacing, the crucial role of human insight and creativity, that unique spark a human teacher or creator brings.
Yeah, the inspiration, the broader understanding, the why behind the what.
It's that balance, isn't it? Knowing when to reach for the AI for the quick how-to and when to seek out human perspectives for the deeper why or the what's next.
That feels like a really powerful thought for you to consider in your own learning journey. How do you strike that balance?
Absolutely. And hey, If you're curious to try that direct AI guidance yourself, the source mentioned Google AI Studio again. It's at aistudio.google.com. Might be worth checking out.
Give it a spin, see how it feels.
We really hope this deep dive gave you some valuable takeaways from the sources we looked at today.
And we genuinely love to hear what you think. How do you see AI changing how you learn, how you work? Drop us a comment, let us know your thoughts.